A pleasant day to each and everyone. Today, I am going to present our research about the reflective teaching diary in higher educational institutions for Asian Virtual Conference on Multidisciplinary Research. We are in Cluster 1, Education Group, category Professional. The presenter will be myself, Mr. John Paul T. Salon. Allow me to begin with the background of the study. A good teacher should have knowledge, skills, and disposition. This is according to Glantz 2009. However, these are not the sole elements for being a good teacher. We believe that going beyond these qualities and descriptions is the term reflective. It is never easy to be a reflective practitioner, but it should be an integral part of your system in teaching. This paper examines the significance of reflective teaching diary in higher educational institutions in improving the teaching and learning process, how it affects student learning, and its implications for teaching practices. In the beginning, we never asked the question, what makes a good teacher? Working in various roles and administrative tasks was never easy. But it was a great challenge. Aside from these tasks, there were other tasks related to the improvement of teaching and learning process, such as conducting action research, attending seminars, conferences, and presenting research. But have we ever thought to ask ourselves these questions? What went well? Why did it go well? What else could have been done to improve it? What went wrong? Why did it go wrong? What do we need to change or improve? These questions were too difficult to answer in the past. However, as teachers, we need to share our expertise and reflect on our various tasks assigned to us. At the beginning, doing many things at the same time was challenging, yet reflecting on what we do, not only as teacher, but being human. What makes a good teacher? A good teacher should listen, understand, and care for her students. Reflective. According to Glantz 2009, good teachers should have time to reflect and think about their failures as much as they consider their success. They also try to improve themselves by reading, attending conferences, and seeking advice from others. Also, he or she is considered a good teacher when he or she looks into his or her daily plans and integrate values in his or her students. He's also a motivator. A good teacher shows genuine interest and motivates students to a higher achievement. A good teacher has the greatest impact on the student achievement. Therefore, whatever we teach or show them will somehow determine their life in the future. For the method, the descriptive type of research is used in this study, with critical analysis on reflective teaching diary and strategies used in teaching and learning process. But how was it done? Let's take a look at the process. First is observation and informal interview. The opinions of teachers and students were collected through observation and informal interview with teachers and students. These observations were personally recorded and documented, which is called the reflective teaching diary. Second, these observations were analyzed and studied. Then, the authors made some reflections on the various teaching strategies employed in the classroom. The last stage was based on these experiences, observations, and reflections. These were validated through an informal interview. During this informal interview, students were free to voice out their ideas and opinions about the lesson, their learning experience, the activity, and many others. The result of informal interview was included in the reflective teaching diary. To sum up, the personal reflection strategy of the teachers was used to gather all reflective information for further improvement in the teaching and learning process. This study covers the significance of using reflective teaching diaries in recording important information or ideas that usually or actually happen in the classroom. It is imperative that the results of the documentary analysis on teaching strategies, observation, and interview will improve the teaching and learning process. For the results, the reflective teaching diary has a positive effect on student learning. We came to realize the importance of each student in the classroom. Each day, if we record our experiences with our students, we will become aware of our roles as professionals. Thereby, starting to feel our students' needs, we begin to think of how we can manage to improve our reflection process in the classroom. We need to enhance the importance of our teaching profession. It is believed that a reflective approach to teaching involves changes in the way we usually perceive teaching and our role in the process of teaching. If we try to explore our teaching through the use of RTD or other means, there is always a possibility for professional growth and development. As we move on, there's always an area in which we need to do better. This makes a professional teacher because of his or her continuously analyzing and evaluating of himself or herself through the process of reflection and using the RTD. Based on reflections, the following reflective questions are worthy to be analyzed. What do we want our students to learn? What is the best way for our students to learn using the materials we provide them? And what else can be improved in teaching and learning process? For our enabling change, as teachers, while critically analyzing the courses we offer in general, there is a need to improve our lesson plan each week. Careful planning can help ensure a successful running of the course. Some improvements that can be done in HEIs are the following. First is the instructional design model. Then, the intended learning outcome. Then, content to be covered. The resources and materials. Teaching and learning activities. Assessment. Feedback and reflection. And the last part is evaluation. Teaching and learning must always be a two-way process. The students must be interested in learning, while the teacher should be eager to teach the lesson. By incorporating all the learning, we work hard to improve our teaching. We also try to impart our to our colleagues and listen to their own experiences. We realize that we can also learn from them and capture all those good experiences and practically apply them. Some examples of actions made during conduct of this study were the use of feedback system, creating a WhatsApp group for our students using an English-only policy, weekly monitoring through oral interviews, journal writing, and conducting extra instruction time. It is expected that not all actions are considered excellent, but these steps are taken to improve student learning. During the implementation, these steps were found to be effective in evaluating some entries in the RTD. As a result of this reflection, the RTD is a tool which can be utilized in improving the teaching and learning process. Reflective practice allows instructors to consider some questions that will eventually facilitate the improvement of teaching and learning. Once all these improvements are recorded in the RTD annually, teachers will be grateful to have this improved and developed. Personally and professionally, we would like to recommend that using the reflective teaching diary is essential in any course. These will help the professors find out what went well in the classroom, what they have encountered, and how could they possibly improve. Students should learn how to make reflections in their own learning by documenting what they do, analyze the same, and finding solutions to the problems they encounter in academic life. Finally, it is recommended that this paper should be elevated into a much detailed research in the future, specifically in the School of Education. The following are the references of our study. And that ends my presentation. Thank you very much.